Hey, Scott.
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
We're rolling. I'm good, buddy. Yeah, we're here at B2B Online in Florida.
It's been great. I've
Talking
been loving
all
this.
things e-commerce.
You bet.
And we're going to do a digital experience workshop, our first on-location workshop. It feels a little bit weird. We're not at the desk.
Yeah, we're Flywheel branded like you wouldn't believe.
What do you think?
Yeah, and so for this AMA, what I really like is the fact that we're going to have, different
Well, we thought,
vendors.
why not? We're
just have
actually in front of
everybody-
some vendors, some customers, some prospects, and let's just see what people are chatting about.
Exactly. So I'm going to make you do a lot of the work.
Okay. All right.
Just because I'm losing my voice, so everybody, it's all
Nobody
on
wants to hear
Scott.
you anyway, Steve.
Yeah, so let's get into it. What do you think?
Let's bring some people in and let's see what they have to say.
Done.
All right, here we go. Let's roll. All right, everybody. I am here this time with Chris Knepp, partner manager from Progress Sitefinity. Chris has been joining us here at B2B Online. We're very thankful to have your presence, Chris.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yes.
So we're doing our Ask Me Anything series here. What kind of questions have you been answering for people? Have people been coming up and talking to you about?
Yeah, I think there's two areas people have been asking about. One is content personalization.
For sure, in the B2B space, so relevant. Yeah.
Just really trying to understand like how they can, in both an easy way, deliver relevant content to the people visiting their website. So I think that's the first thing. And then the second thing we're really that I've been hearing a lot is just how do we provide a better user experience for our content authors?
Yeah.
Which seems to be a bit of a struggle for a lot of our B2B clients out there.
And would you say that in the B2B e-commerce space, I mean, tell me if you agree with this, that content personalization is a bit easier
in the B2B,
in the e-commerce space, because you've got my hypothesis here is you've got shopping trends, you've got categories of interest. The data itself tends to lend itself to be a little bit more organized in a faceted manner.
Absolutely.
Lending itself to more easily being tagged and presented that way.
Be able to understand where the client is coming from, what they're looking at, what they're searching for,
and then being able to serve up
the content, which is typically a product based on that information. So,
and I think we've been getting some good reception to showing that improved user experience, and how you don't need to compromise on user experience when you're in a commerce experience.
100%. It's I think people are still trying to figure it out. But they've been very excited to see the things that we're able to show them, talk to them about.
Especially behind an authenticated experience. You're not at all compromising what that user experience, user interface is like. B2B consumers are, at the end of the day, consumers.
Still consumers.
Yeah. So. All right. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everybody.
Go.
All right, everybody. I'm here with Tom Fleural from Znode at the B2B Online Conference. Tom, what kind of questions have you been hearing from people you've been talking to here?
A couple different things that we hear. Hot topics in B2B are one, flexibility.
Yeah.
Every distributor business, every manufacturer business has their own set of unique business rules, contract rules, how they go to market. And it's one of the reasons that old monolithic platforms are slowly going away is manufacturers in particular have lots of complex rules and they want flexibility in a platform. Same with upper mid-market distributors.
Yeah.
So
it's about flexibility to accommodate the business model.
Correct.
Yeah, and all the nuances around there. And I think Zeno's pretty well positioned to address those, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. One more question then, who's going to win, Marquette or Purdue?
Oh, Marquette.
All right, all the way.
9 o'clock tonight Eastern time, Fox Sports 1. Let's go Marquette.
All right, thanks, Tom. All right, so I'm here with Ryan Culp, the program director for B2B Online for the show today. Thanks for chatting with me today, Ryan.
Thanks, Scott.
We're just trying to find out what kind of questions are people asking here at the show. What have you been hearing?
So I've been hearing a lot of questions, a lot coming at me. One of the questions that came at me during the happy hour yesterday was actually a sales related question. And it was around dealing with the issue of getting sales reps to try and push more sales through the online channel versus having to do the action.
So
how do you incentivize that? What does the commission structure look like?
How do you avoid the sort of the rich, fantastic online presence cannibalizing the sales rep channel as well? What's your answer to that?
My answer to that, honestly, I would tell whoever is out there, you need to find a way to pay them more for new business and make the sales rep do a little bit more work.
Right.
Incentivize them for that.
Yeah.
Give them a piece of that commission. They do not need to be talking to the same people who've been ordering the same crap from you for years.
Yeah. And I would say we're at a B2B online, B2B e-commerce event here. This is all about making sure that we can actually enable those sales folks, that we can make their job easier, that we can use the digital experience, the website, the e-commerce experience to support those conversations that they're having. A lot of times in the B2B space, they're complicated sales. They're involved. You have to really work with your prospect, with your customer to make sure they're getting the right thing, they're aware of all the right products. But then you do want the transaction to be taken care of by the website.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean that, pick an area you can go down. There's problems and there's challenges in every direction that you move in. But I think that is a huge one that a lot of companies deal with. And that's a big pain point. That's a huge area of friction for a lot of businesses.
Yeah. No, I like it. Thanks a lot, Ryan. Appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, I'm here with Jacoby Zakretsky now from Luminos Labs. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Glad to be here.
We're asking people what kind of questions they've been getting at the show here at B2B Online. So what have you been hearing?
A lot of thoughts around product data as usual.
Okay.
A little bit of trail end on AI too.
Yeah. You're still hearing that?
Yeah.
It hasn't gone away?
Still a little bit less at this point. A little bit less.
You know what? I think back in the spring, it was the only thing people were talking about. And other people are still talking about it, but not quite as prominently.
Now it's more of a sarcastic joke kind of an approach, which I think is great. And then it's more about applicable use of AI at this juncture versus pie in the sky.
Right.
I just hear a lot of people using ChatGPT in their day-to-day life as their best coworker, which is fantastic to hear. That's an applicable use. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Do you think that we're going to be hearing more about it, or do you think it'll just kind of drift into the background?
I think it's going to.
It's not going to drift in the background, but
I think it's going to be a feature or functionality of all platforms.
Yeah.
And it won't be a selling point. It will be assumed that it's included in terms of a platform.
Yes, it'll be a default, and if you don't have it, what are you doing?
It's not. At the early part of this conversation in the summer, the spring, it was the spear tip of the conversation.
It was.
And now I think it's more on the back end. It's assumed you'll have AI, and if you don't, I think you're behind.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that transition. So,
and so when I asked you the question, you started off by saying you're getting questions about product data. Do you mean specs about product, or do you mean the data that's going into the platforms?
Yeah, so we work a lot like you with search platforms, with PIMs, things like that, and everyone complains about their product data. It's like when you ask, what's your favorite ERP, and nobody loves their ERP. And it's kind of a joke. Same thing with product data. Right. And as a technical systems integrator, it's not really a technical problem.
Right.
It's more of a
content problem. It's
a governance and operational problem. So a lot of it is, all the solutions that are out here about product data, it'll get you far enough, but you still need some bodies behind it to actually make it a program. Our friend Jason Hine talks about it all the time, and you don't treat product data as a project. It's a program that's continuous life cycle.
It requires some constant, and I wonder if AI will improve that and make it more reliable as time goes on.
I think so, and that helps bridge the gap.
Yeah.
And so whenever I talk to people here about product data, I'll go, so what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And I think that's where they know what to do and why they should do it, but some of it's the how.
Yeah.
How do I get past this invisible hurdle?
Right. And I think it's recognizing that it requires commitment. It's not just a one and done.
It's intentional commitment that does require work.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Thanks for chatting.
Hey, appreciate it, Scott.
All right.
Thank you.
Soon.
Yep.
All right. I got Sawyer Frank with me now from ECommerce. And what are you hearing people ask about at the show here?
Well, I think first and foremost is who is ECommerce?
I love it. Go ahead. Give us
I'd like to say that we're the best kept secret in e-commerce platform game.
Sure.
For those that don't know, we were brought to market by the original founders as the Magento platform.
Oh, yeah.
So they had built an infamous B2C open source community and, of course, product.
Right.
And during that journey, of course, they sold it. But prior to selling it, they had a lot of their customers coming to them asking for B2B functionality.
Right.
So some light bulbs went off, and ultimately they recognized that there was a need in the market for a purpose-built B2B e-com
Do you think people
platform.
are asking for their first B2B solution, or do you think they're asking for a better one than what they've already got?
There's certainly a mix, right? Especially at a show like this, you have some companies that have invested in technology a long time ago, some of which have invested in a B2C architected platform and are now recognizing that there's limitations.
Right.
In other cases, they're pure exploratory, trying to find what the market has to offer.
And what are the key features about B2B commerce that people are most interested in exploring?
Well, first and foremost, I just have to say that the environment is much more complex, right?
It is.
It's not one-to-one, it's
Right.
a one-to-many on both sides.
Right.
So, traditionally we're talking about, account hierarchies,
Yep.
multiple price lists,
Right.
different permissions for products,
different products and
catalogs,
stuff, yeah.
so
And so I guess it really just is making sure that you understand all that matrix, that nuance, and that you've thought it all through in the product service that you're coming to market with.
yeah, absolutely. I think that starts with the architecture of the platform, right? And we know that firsthand, right? If you're architected for B2C, the one-to-one, it requires immense customization to get to the point, which creates limitations.
It does, yeah. Well, I like it. Thanks for sitting down. Appreciate your answers.
Yeah, happy to be here.
All right,
Thank you.
cheers. All right, I've got Anu Gupta here with me today from Tesco Technologies. Same question that we've been asking everybody. What questions have you been hearing from people that you've been talking to here at the show?
Sure. So I think there are multiple, sort of lines of questioning. I think one of the first ones would be, if you're just starting out or new, what is, how do I get started?
How do you get started? With a B2B e-commerce?
With a B2B e-commerce platform, or I just started and what am I missing?
Or I have something, it's not quite there yet. I know it should be better.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of customer problems, I'm hearing a lot about data.
Yeah.
Product data is a really hot topic, and you're hearing a lot about how AI can help, but that is not something that I buy into.
Well, it's not something that people are necessarily seeing as a top priority at the moment.
And that is something that is very hard to buy into. Like, yes, you will get money for a website. Are you getting money for? Are you getting
for
funding
an AI investment?
for an AI investment, or even a regular manual get people on it investment, right? Especially if you have a technical product, you need the technical person's time to fill it out for you, the product data.
Right.
So that's the other challenge that I'm hearing a lot about. And I guess the third one for practitioners like me who've been here many times is what's new. Right?
Yeah.
Like what are things we are missing in our stack, in our technology stack that we should be having? What's the next frontier?
Yeah. And do you have an answer for that one?
Not really.
No, it's been interesting to see some of what people are talking about there.
I'm hearing a lot about AI.
Yeah.
And I think that there is some cases for it. I think, sort of repeated tasks, automation. I think that's a great case for AI. Right now, that may work and that'll be successful. But beyond that, we're still looking for the proof.
Well, and I think one of the things that we're talking to folks about at the show in terms of what's coming and what's next is really trying to improve the front end experience, trying to improve the presentation of the information, making sure that you're not just focused on operational efficiency, transactional execution, that when you're providing a B2B e-commerce experience, that it is a delight and it is something that people look forward to because it's actually a tool that they're going to be using on a regular basis.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing that a lot of people miss is that we have so much expertise within our organizations, right? Like with our sales teams, with our product teams, like there is a lot of expertise, right? And how do you translate that online? Like how do you become the SME for the product that you represent as a distributor?
And that comes down to content.
That comes out of content, and that's what a lot of time is not spent on. Like you have to be the evangelist and the sort of essentially the SME for your
product and for your space. I love it. Thanks for chatting. Really good to get you on camera.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Wow, that was very good.
Yeah, some good conversations.
Kudos.
I was actually surprised that people wanted to come on and talk to us.
So, out of all the conversations, what did you kind of get? What was the key takeaway for you?
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, everybody sort of felt like AI was definitely part of the conversation, but not as prominent as I think they were expecting it to be, or as they've seen in the past year since the explosion of AI. So that's been interesting. People still want to talk about it. They're still interested in it. They want to pay attention to it, but it's
still an understanding.
It's not dominating the conversation like it was a year ago or 18 months ago. Big emphasis on data quality, data cleanliness, data accuracy. That was the one that surprised me the most, that people are still here trying to have conversations to solve that problem.
Off camera, I literally have been having that conversation all day.
And then the number of people that came up to talk to us about building out their very first e-commerce solution, had several conversations with people that were really hoping to get into what it would look like the first time for them, and getting into wanting to do it for the first time for real.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
They've tried.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
Now they're going through, and the digital experience planning canvas really helped with that.
It's been a great way to bring people
Yeah.
into the booth to start some conversations. Lot of like head nods, like, oh yeah, that really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll lead to some more conversations. But it's been really interesting to see what those questions have been all about.
Yeah, I really love this workshop.
The Canvas workshop.
I
or
always
the-
say
yeah.
this was my favorite, but
Yeah.
this really
Oh, the
was.
AMA workshop. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
just for the fact that it was actually different
Yeah,
to
he
do
says
it.
every month it's
And
his favorite one,
I
but
know.
yeah, this one's been fun for sure.
Yeah, and unique. So
All right, well, thanks for tuning in, and
Thank you,
let us know
everyone.
what you think. If you got any questions that weren't answered, let us know.
yeah, reach out to us.
All
Take
right.
care.
Ciao.